All right, man. OKC goes up 3-2. Wemby as well as Fox were 4 for 15 from the field, and sure, Wemby got some more free throws, but we got to start with Wemby because that was a really, really rough offensive game for the guy. I think he had a 49 true shooting. And I think my lasting image for this game will be the possessions of him trying to take Ihart off the dribble and just not being able to get him out of the way. I mean, there were some possessions where like he's facing up and he ends up in the paint, or he might start like at the border of the paint, but he just can't get that much position. I mean, the most physical drive I can remember from Wemby tonight, I think, was that one where he went right at Jay Will early on a possession, and then that opened up a Keldon Johnson three. But you just get these plays where, he ends up picking the ball up and he's got to get into his spins or his pivots or whatever, and he just ends up taking these sort of flailing shots around Ihart that, of course, sometimes he can make or throw it off the backboard and get it back to himself, whatever. I mean, this is his worst offensive game of the series, no doubt. Nobody would be surprised if he drops like 35 on way better efficiency in Game 6 and we go back here for a Game 7, but now, this is a whole Spurs half-court offense thing as well. Let's say this first. OKC did a good job of either sending an extra body, like to load up one side of the floor when Wemby was screening for Castle, let's say, or they do a good job of tagging Wemby on the roll. Ihart is typically dropping back on screens or staying attached to Wemby on screens. Like Wemby can still get open for some pick and pops. Like he missed a very open pick and pop in that fourth quarter, but OKC's making sure he sees multiple bodies. I mean, just to give you one play, like there was a Wemby-Stephon Castle screen in the first half where Kaysen played off of Dylan Harper, who was in the opposite dunker spot, to just load up that side of the floor. So when the screen connects from Wemby, the over-the-top pass to him isn't really there because then Kaysen can just mess it up. And then OKC, being who they are, Dylan Harper is kind of open in the dunker spot. Castle tries him, but then Lou Dort manages to deflect that as well. I mean, that's how challenging it is to face this defense. You think a passing lane's open, it's not open. Or like I mentioned, like Jared McCain is tagging Wemby on the roll, which actually means that Champagnie is open for like a quarter of a second on the top of the key, as Ihart is staying in front of the basket to where Keldon can't just get a layup, or not Keldon, Castle can't get a layup. Basically, Wemby just has someone or multiple people on him at all times. We also got like 70 free throw attempts. Second time this series, just a big number. And then you might have like a Vassell Wemby screen, and again, because Ihart is dropping on it, Vassell's pass to Wemby isn't really there, so he's taking a pull-up too, and OKC will take that. Just different versions of that type of stuff. Or De'Aaron Fox just missing a bunch of shots, throwing it to nowhere. Him and Castle had two different possessions of throwing it to nowhere. Of course, that Champagnie transition pass to Wemby, where do I blame Champagnie or Wemby for that more? Regardless, that pass ends up going nowhere. Like, they had an opportunity early in that fourth, but then, again, there was that pass, there was the Wemby botched lob finish from Harper. So yeah, as far as Fox, I just went and looked at him at NBA.com. Honestly, it's a bunch of him just going downhill, and it's like he's trying to body up McCain, or he's trying to get downhill with Ihart waiting for him, or Caruso's there, so he's got to go to a floater, and they're all just kind of rushed or off balance. Could still be feeling the ankle, I don't know. And they got scoring from other places, mostly Champagnie and Castle, but Vassell, who has made shots before this game, but him, Wemby, and Fox, 10 for 41 among those three? Now, before we go to OKC's offense and say more nice things about the role players and Caruso, McCain, the whole thing, while there are screen actions involving Wemby that are not always working because OKC's ready for him, like I've talked about already, it does also feel like there are some amount of possessions per game where Wemby, he'll screen on the ball or he'll get it on a face-up, but it's the in-between of those two things, whether it's off-ball screens or DHOs or multiple screens set on one possession or inverted screen actions. Sometimes I find myself wanting a little bit more of those involving Wemby. I'm not saying they don't happen. Of course they do. I've talked about inverted screens with him in one particular where Isaiah Joe blew it up. But in Game 5 of the West Finals, where the margins are so thin and OKC is so good on defense, a few possessions here and there where you're just like, so what's the plan right now? Like, I remember there's one inbound where Harrison Barnes got it, and he just has it in the corner. There's not really a plan, and then it ends up in Castle's hands with like 7 seconds left. I'm like, okay, nothing's happened yet. What's going to happen here? Anyway, for all that said, they could have the exact same offense the next game. Wemby has 1,000,000 points, and hopefully Fox is better. Anyway, as far as the other side of this thing, the OKC role players, man. I mean, we're seeing more single coverage versus SGA. Not as many aggressive doubles way up top, except for the end there when they got desperate on defense. And they're just making plays. Whether it's, McCain, Jay Will, two-man action on the same side of the floor as Wemby, because he's helping off a Kaysen. That becomes a Kaysen Wallace corner three. Once again, Alex Caruso picking pops with Wemby playing off of him. It's just unbelievable with Caruso, man. And the Caruso threes weren't even all off of Wemby playing off of him. Like Vassell and I think Keldon both just helped off of him on screen actions where they put Wemby in the screen action to try to get him moving a little bit. Jared McCain, an array of difficult mid-rangers or threes. Like maybe the action beforehand is good, like some sort of pin down for him or whatever, but he's just making a shot over the top of like Champagny or Vassell or Fox or Harper. That 1-3 he made on Vassell, that was good defense. It didn't matter. I heart floaters in the first half. Chet had like a few plays there, like turnaround twos or drives right at Vassell or Champagny. I'm like, all right, Chet. I want to say Kaysen as well as McCain both beat Harrison Barnes in one-on-one 2 different times. One led to that J. Will 3 over the Wemby contest. You had, like, didn't Caruso make like a fadeaway on De'Aaron Fox in a one-on-one? I'm like, this is crazy. I mean, of course they were going to shoot better than they did the last game. 43% from outside. And Shea's game today, I mean, it felt like he was either losing the ball in the middle of the floor versus Castle or just kind of running into Wemby, just being in the spot at the free throw line or whatever. Or he was getting downhill and getting fouled. Or he's missing 16-footers in single coverage. So anyway, what's going to happen in Game 6? I don't know. Something that we've already seen this whole series. It just depends on which way is it going to swing. Is it Wemby's unguardable? Is it Wemby has trouble versus the bigs? Is it Caruso is Reggie Miller? Or Caruso is regular season Caruso? I mean, we should acknowledge, before this season, Caruso had 3 years in a row of good percentages from three, and this is the second straight playoffs. He's been over 40%. So yeah, man, Game 6 in San Antonio. I imagine the Spurs are going to come out with a lot of energy like they did the last one. OKC will be up for it. Should be a good time.